Fire and brimstone. Fire and brimstone.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Fire and brimstone. Fire and brimstone.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
I'm convinced most women worship Satan, don't realize it. They damn sure don't follow God and don't know how to hide it. Give them too much love, they lose respect for your providing. Then stalk your social when the life they wanted starts declining. Got everything I wanted. All it took was love subsiding, and I could have a lot of sex from ladies, but it's love I've not been finding. Women will hold a grudge till death, and that's something I do not respect. Drake dropped for all the dogs, and dog got dogged the chick out when she wouldn't fetch. I feel like this is all that's left. Fire and brimstone.
Here ye is the twin Kingz, and I finally reached my wits end.
With your man T. Witz, business owner, musician. We are out here with two gentlemen that have really been holding it down for the DMV, two artists that I personally have worked with, that have supported my business. We are here at Tribe Trinity Entertainment Studios, and I want y'all to get to know these guys. We're here, the My Wits End podcast is about practicality. Anyone who watched episode 1, I hope you watched episode 1. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. We need it for the algorithm, and we love you for subscribing. Anyone who checked out episode 1, you've seen that we are about community. These guys are a community within themselves, and I want y'all to tell us a little bit about yourselves, Twin Kingz.
Oh yeah, man, it's the twin Kingz, man. We're musical artists, we're hip hop artists. We love the culture. We, fathers, husbands, business owners, writers,
artists, poets, everything.
We pretty much do it all. We was born in the DMV, but we was raised in New York. Shout out to Brooklyn. Yeah.
Shout out to Brothers Anonymous.
Shout out to Brothers Anonymous. Shout out to the Fort. Yeah. Shout out to Dom.
Yeah, facts. So a lot of what we do is bringing the authenticity back to this culture that we love. Most important.
When you say authenticity, give me, define authenticity.
They turned it into entertainment, and it was never meant to be such. It was supposed to be a guiding light to be a beacon of hope to people who are also downtrodden as well. When hip hop was made and stuff like that, it was during a time where a lot of people were, trying to find a cultural identity, and a voice for our shit is fucked up, our streets are fucked up, our families are fucked up, and we're trying to find that again. And it was speaking about it in the most public manner of all time.
Yeah,
and holding that culture.
Like how back in in slavery times where we used to. When we had the tunnels and stuff like that, and they used to put the routes through the tunnels through the cornrows.
Right.
Yes.
So how we had to find a way to
speak to each other.
Speak to each other.
Of the My Wits podcast, we talked about community. And entering my first episode with community, it's because this is what we do as artists. A smart artist collaborates. Right. You have to collaborate. I mean, unless you're a J. Cole, but even he has gotten to his collaboration bag heavy now.
Right. Yeah.
But a lot of artists have this idea that doing it myself, getting there myself, what's the purpose in that?
Right.
If you burn bridges along the way, if you don't have people you can work with along the way, what really is that?
Right.
So I want y'all to give me a little understanding of what is it that kept y'all together as brothers. Like, it's very impressive to see y'all still doing this. How long have y'all been doing this?
Man, we've been doing this for, as far as when it comes to the writing, we started writing when we was about 9. My cousin taught us how to do it. After the cypher we saw in the Bronx, we got captivated by that energy of just seeing a cypher for the first time. We would just walk into the park to go play. New York, going to hoop, and we got captivated by that. Started writing. That's when we was 9. So we've been doing this for over 20 years as far as the writing bond.
Well, do you two have an overall goal in doing this together? I mean, let's keep it a buck. These days, groups are falling apart. It's hard for people to stay allies, and this game tears people apart.
Yeah. So us staying together, that's been the focal point of why we even do this in the first place. I don't feel as though I can be my own individual artist, but that's never been my identity since I've been born. My identity been born as my twin brother. Funny story. In school, I think our first interaction was some shit that he did. I I was in class, and with twins, they like to separate you in different classes or whatever the case is. So he said some foul shit to somebody else. Can I curse? I can curse, right?
Yeah.
He said some foul shit to some dude or whatever the case is. And he ended up fighting his friend or whatever, like I think 2 days before, whatever. He told me about it, but I wasn't paying it no mind. I went to school, and I didn't even know the guy he fought. I didn't even know who he was, what he looked like, nothing. He just said, I just fought some dude, whatever. And I was like, all right, whatever. You beat his ass. He's like, yeah, I fucked him up, no big deal, but whatever. So I went to school, the next day I went to school. I'm in class. I'm just minding my business in the back, doing my work, whatever. I was actually trying to talk to this one girl in the front. And this dude came through the class, and he's like, yo, bitch ass nigga, like, who the fuck? I'm like, yo, who? Mind you, I'm not paying no mind of it. I'm thinking nothing of it.
Yeah.
So long story short, I ended up going out there, and I start fighting this dude and his mans, and they was like, yeah, you remember that shit you said to me yesterday? I'm like, nah, I don't know who the hell you talking about. But at the time, it was such early on in the school, they didn't know we were twins. So when whatever he did brought me closer, because now when I went home after, getting suspended, I think, yo, twin, you got to tell me everything, bro. I need to know who you argue with, who you talk to. Wow. And that brought us together. That brought us closer, in my opinion. It kind of it didn't pull us apart, it brought us more together. So we knew, navigating through life, it's going to be us. My face, your face. What you do, I do, technically. So we carried that in the music.
And then it's funny because a lot of people be like, they be quick to throw out this term, yo twin, yo twin, yo twin. Like, you don't really know what it feels like to be an actual twin unless you're a twin. And people confuse you, and then when trouble happens, you got to really...
His problems, your problems.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
So we tell people, like, yo, it's twin. Like, you know us.
I guess for me, looking at the dynamic of y'all being twins, not only in music, but in life. My little brother, God rest his soul, he and I we were partners, you know what I mean? And that just, that rings true to this day. I represent him in everything that I do. But how do you hold on and maintain an identity when you not only look so similar, but, I mean, I've worked with you guys. I can distinctly know your flows and always know the differences, but in your music, I've listened to your music, but for people listening, do you distinctly ever attack tracks on your own? Is every track done together as the Twin Kings? When you do attack a track, do you have a particular formula so that people can always know the difference in who's on the track? Do you think that's necessary?
We're consider ourselves a coin. There's two sides to the coin, but it's still the same coin. Yeah. So we're the same. If he wrote it, I wrote it. If I wrote it, he wrote it. If it's just me on a feature, we're still putting our name on it. Twin Kings. Yeah. So most of the time, how we attack features, most of the time when people reach out to us, depending on how much money they're willing in regards to their budget, with doing the feature, we normally be like, all right, well, we'll split the verse, and me and him will go back and forth on the verse. And
as I've seen personally.
Yeah, right. We'll go back and forth, and people don't even realize that when they see featured by Twin Kings, if there's not two verses from us on it, it's both of us on the verse. Yeah. So people don't really, it's like people like, damn, yo, how long y'all been doing the back and forth thing? Since we started writing. Yeah. We've been doing the back and forth thing.
There have been times where he would jump on a feature, especially with Trey Isaacs. He would jump on a feature, by himself, do the whole verse. I did another feature with him as well.
Yes.
By myself, two separate songs. But we still put Twin Kings on there because we identify as the same. You know what I'm saying? We are a unit. We moving as a unit. We don't ever have plans on separating and he doing his own thing, I do my own thing, because the whole reason why I'm even doing this in the first place is this guy. You know what I'm saying? He convinced me to jump back in this arena because honestly, I really didn't care to jump back into hip hop after leaving the military and stuff like that.
Me convincing him in the first place, it was like, yo, we don't have to rap, and it's like it's an uphill battle in regards to fighting for supremacy and it's getting watered down and a lot of different stuff is happening. I was like, yo, we got to keep the authenticity. Because I was sitting around, waiting for my favorites to put out something new or push the culture forward or whatever the case would be. And I've been waiting, just twiddling my thumbs, waiting for it to happen, and it never happened. I just, I was like, yo, Twin, we got to jump back in this arena. At least we could do it our own way. Like, what I'm saying? If we change the minds of one person, then we change the minds of many.
Do you do that? I mean, you mentioned military. Which branch did you guys join?
Army.
Yeah.
Very nice. How long did you serve?
I served just shy of 9 years.
Wow.
I did a couple tours. I did a couple tours all over the place. Did a combat tour.
So yeah, I did 4 years, 12 days, and 3 hours. My time was cut. My time was cut a little short due to me getting hurt in Afghanistan twice.
Wow.
So
salute. Thank you for your service, guys. Seriously.
I got blown up twice.
I got a little brother who's a Marine. My Uncle Eric, my grandfather Lonnie, Grandpa Leon. When it comes down to it, I was going to join the Air Force with my little brother, Terrence.
Good branch.
God rest his soul. My mom always told me that if there's anything that I can do as far as the military, she would want me in the Air Force. She's like, "You smart, baby. Use your brain, you know."
Smart.
But I appreciate y'all, man. But I respect you guys for using that dynamic and for bringing that into music, for being heroes and bringing these kids and all these people who love hip-hop something authentic and real.
Right.
So,
I actually have a verse that I did while I was deployed that I was thinking about, putting out there maybe one of these days.
We would love to hear it. Enjoy the Acura experience at any budget. When you choose a certified pre-owned Acura from Rosenthal Acura, you can expect the same leading standards as a new Acura. Each certified pre-owned Acura comes with a 12-month, 12,000-mile certified limited warranty, as well as a 24-hour roadside assistance service. And you can be sure that your certified pre-owned Acura is in pristine condition. Every single eligible certified pre-owned Acura must pass a 182-point inspection and will include a vehicle history report. Choose a certified pre-owned Acura at Rosenthal Acura and tell them T. Witz sent you.
Bringing that authentic hip hop back, like the speaking about the slavery times and putting the routes and stuff like that. It's very it's been turned into this art of
entertainment,
gimmicks and entertainment. It's selling you a story that artist is turning into an actor.
Do you believe that we don't need entertainment? What about this particular? So for me, when it comes to hip hop, I completely agree. I think that hip hop, jazz, funk, soul, all of these black genres that started from nothing, were created out of a need to have culture, out of what becomes of the evolution of culture. Slaves coming here, being brought here, whatever the reason. It was a creation of culture. Mm-hmm. And are you saying that you believe that culture has now been hijacked? Do you think it's been?
Yes. I wouldn't say that we don't need entertainment. Everybody needs some type of form of entertainment. Mm-hmm. But if that entertainment is driven by only money focused and not other the art, the creativity, the graffiti, the b-boy, the dancing, the the DJ and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. If you're not keeping that cultural identity within itself, then you're going to turn it into something it's not. Right. So if you keep the essence of what it is, and then you make it entertaining, that's fine. But as long as we were speaking about, because remember, we used to speak about political ideas, we used to speak about impoverished communities. Now all you hear is the same things, which we can understand that the culture has been dived into drugs and sex and money and whatever cases and flashy this, flashy that. But what about other issues that are happening within the community? That's where it's not pivoting to. Everybody's only talking about one thing.
What do you think has always driven hip hop? Do you think it still drives hip hop? Those two questions.
That's a good question.
I think what's always driven hip hop is the ability to say what the fuck you want to say. I think that's like it's the freedom of speech has always been it.
I would personally, I think I want to compromise that into rebellion.
Yes.
Rebellious.
Of course.
Rebellion.
Yeah, rebellion for sure. That's freedom of speech.
Do you believe? I have a belief that the rebellious nature that we see in hip hop today is so rebellious that it goes against progress.
Yeah.
And to an extent, yeah.
I think what keeps hip hop alive today is that rebellious nature still. Yes. It is the sex, it is the drugs. What did your mom tell you not to do? Don't have sex before marriage, don't do drugs, go to school, da. And now kids know they don't have to go to school if they just want to become influencers, streamers, YouTubers, rappers. Yeah. A lot of those guys, the YouTubers, the streamers, they're doing the reverse and becoming the rappers and the hip hop artists. Yeah. What is it that you guys do with your music that adds to the progress of hip hop?
We keep God.
We keep God.
Because it's easy to dive into the negative things that the devil will throw in your face, the drugs, the money, the sex, the this, the the lust, the whatever the case is. But it's easy to dive into that. But with us, we try to keep God first. We keep God prominent. We don't follow into those negative norms. I mean, because think about it, man, we grew up around it. We know all about that shit. We've been there, done that. You know what I'm saying? But we're not trying to be the old heads that gonna be like, yo man, don't pull your pants up. I get that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we're gonna still let you know, like, hey man, there's still some type of morality in this, and don't lose your morality because you're chasing all of this devilish shit.
Right, and then most importantly, like we're speaking to the downtrodden. You know, we started, the art of, using the story, the album titles and the track names to provide a story that people can follow along to learn something deeper than just listening to the music. Because you'll hear one song and be like, oh, they're talking about strip club and throwing ass, woman shaking ass. How dare they come on this? No, we're talking to the downtrodden. There's always a message in something that we're doing to pull you away from solely focusing on that. And yes, it's entertainment. Yes, it's fun. Yes, do we go to strip clubs from time to time? Yeah, God dang all right. But it's just, there's other things that lead to that. Like people forgot that project. The titles of those the EP, the When She Came EP names.
How many full projects do you guys have? How many albums?
4?
Yeah, 4.
I'll list the names for everyone who's listening.
So it's the very first one was in order of precedence. Everything changed when she came. She made heaven fall and froze summer.
Yeah. But that was he included some of the EPs.
Yeah.
Why does the essence of a woman drive so much of the?
Because hip hop was a woman.
Hip hop was a woman. What do you mean when you say that?
You ever heard the song by Common? I Used to Love Her.
Yes. Okay.
Let's talk about hip hop.
Talking about hip hop.
He
Why would hip hop be defined, in your opinions, as a woman versus a man? And I'm not saying I think it should be a man.
Because it has the woman has the reach to be able to reach everybody. If it comes from if it was birthed from a woman, it can reach everybody. Like you can only build a nation or a community through a woman. You can't do it through a man. A man can lead it, but a man still has to choose his queen. It's the most important decision he can ever make.
I completely agree.
A woman will birth the nation.
And she'll nurture the nation.
Exactly.
She nurtures it.
It's that nurturing you need for hip hop.
Right.
So
which it's missing now.
So it's missing right now. The mother's missing.
Right, the mother's missing. You have the Rhapsodies. You had the Queen Latifahs. You had the all these prominent women who are spitting and rapping about some real shit. Yes, we dive in, like I'm circling back a little bit. Yes, you dive into the entertainment aspect of it because it's fun, right? But there's also a deeper lining that can be given.
Back to what I said, the morality of things.
You keep that morality aspect of it because if we're influencing these white suburban kids, if we're influencing, our peers in impoverished communities, if we're influencing all these different people, we have to know that there's deeper than just what you see at the surface.
Do you look to be leaders in hip hop?
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
pioneers. We did something that nobody else has ever done in all the 50 years of hip hop. So we wanted to throw our hat in the ring to do that.
So you two and I have a song. Great song. Check out Kingz and Priest by T. Witz featuring the Twin Kings. Fire. Check it out. iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, all of that. t.witzmusic.com. It's featured.
Fire.
And we all spoke during the process, recording and mixing it right here, about how, because you guys asked me, what does that title mean?
Yeah.
And I said that I believe that speaking about God, speaking about spirituality, even if you don't believe in God, there's a hierarchy to life. All ants know that there's a queen ant.
100%.
All wasps know there's a queen. We all know we come from a woman.
Right.
And what's phenomenal about the song Kingz and Priests is that it takes it down to the basics of what we're all supposed to be doing here.
Right.
Either being warriors for the things that make life better, or teachers of things that make life better.
Right.
Exactly.
And you two consider yourselves kings.
100%.
In what aspects do you think kingdom is necessary when being, because a lot of people think a king is supposed to be only one king, and he leads a whole kingdom, and he has a queen. What is it that makes the dynamic of having two kings? Two kings usually will fight over a kingdom.
Yeah,
What is it about you two being kings that you think is so significant in coming into hip hop?
Splitting the crown. Like for example, you can't bring one. There was probably one king, but there was multiple kings surrounding that kingdom. Right? There wasn't a one king over a kingdom. There was one king, a part of multiple There was kings all over the kingdoms, right? And they made alliances. When they started fighting was when they didn't like their resources, right? It's no different than how the bigger world looks at things.
Yes.
You know, America's, you know, I mean, Russia and Ukraine, they're fighting over what? It's the same kind of dynamic. But when you talk about the basis of what we do, we split the crown. We understand it. It's not all about me, because even that king had counsel.
What makes a king?
What makes a king?
What makes a king?
A leadership and influence over the people, and people being receptive to what that king needs. Now, yes, kings can be. You can have, you know, certain kings can be dictators, but I don't believe you can truly be a dictator unless you don't have a council. Right. You have a council that would end up advising that king. Hey, I think we should do this. Hey, I think we should do that. Diplomacy. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, with us, we talk about splitting the crown because we're twins. We split that throne. We split that throne wherever we go.
Right. And then just to put a much more mesophilic touch to it, but you're a king in your mind first. You're a queen in your mind first. Mindset matters.
Exactly.
If you can't be a king, you know, with your thoughts, actions, and, you know, how you move in the world, then you can't rule over anything. You know,
you can't rule yourself.
You can't rule yourself.
Yeah.
So most of the time, I tell people to just, you know, be a king or queen in your mind first.
Conglomerate of hip hop. This huge banner that says, "This is the club. If you want in the club, go with our stipulations." I think that that's dying out. I think you guys, an artist like myself, this amazing camera crew, and my boy Tripstar, who's a part of this team, we are the artists that are defining what it is that's practical. I have a saying, I don't have to be right, and you damn sure don't have to be wrong, but what's working? And we know that these record deals are not working, we know that these shows are not selling, and we know that people are not buying. They're tired of it. In being Twin Kings, in putting in the work that you guys have done, and thank you for your contributions to hip-hop, to my company for working with your boy T. Witz, thank you so much.
That's an honor.
Thank you, my brother. Subscribe to them on YouTube. Check out their Spotify. These guys got some amazing music. I'm featured in some of it. It's nice. It's nice. What is the next goal for the Twin Kings? Where do you see yourselves? I mean, hip-hop is just forever evolving, and you know now it's not that it's going down, but hip hop's being surpassed. Country music is becoming the #1 genre.
Right.
Afro beats are taking over. Where do the Twin Kings fall in that? Being traditionalists.
Yeah, so I would start. I want to backtrack a little bit,
Please.
And I would say, us as a community, as artists, I feel like it's gonna go back to the essence of hip hop, which is the lyricism. I feel like because we went so far away from the lyricism and now we've dumbed it down, that now the audience, the people that love hip hop are going to gravitate to what stimulates their mind. How can we connect with you on a different level rather than just money, drugs, sex, and murder? You know what I'm saying? So I feel as though where do we see ourselves? We see ourselves continuing on the path that we set forth. We had a goal in reach, and we're going to reach that goal before I hang up my hat, or before I decide to continue to do what we got to do with this music stuff. But we see ourselves longevity. The stuff that we got coming out right now, we have an album coming out March 13th. It's called It's Funny How Life Is. That tape speaks volumes to our growth as artists. That's what we're focusing on right now, that album that's coming out. And I'll let Twin jump in on what you're talking about. You said something about
where it's coming back to the real shit, what you connect with. Where we see ourselves is pushing the art forward. The reason why I say we did something that, you know, nobody else has ever done in the 50 years of hip hop is, you know, using the art form of, you know, album rollouts or, you know, track lists. Most of the time when you know, see your favorite artist, for example, you like, oh, these dropping an album or tape. They drop the track list. Who are you looking at the track list to see? The featured artist, how long it's going to be, when it's dropping. That's pretty much it, right?
Yeah.
We added an art form to that. We're basically providing a message with using the titles of our songs in order from top to bottom. Yeah, you know, and we keep expanding on that, as well as the album names.
Is it safe to say, because I want to always surmise things for the audience, because you guys are very intelligent, you guys are articulate, and I know I am. You know what I'm saying? So we always want to bring things back.
Right.
Is it safe to say that you guys keep the theme-driven project going?
Yes.
And in doing so, you hope, or you set an example for artists to keep the essence of hip hop alive.
100%.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, because we have to
Hold
do
on.
that. My bad, Swan. We have to do that because if we don't stay true to ourselves, then who you're gonna fall victim to a lot of things. Like when you say country music is now getting pushed to the forefront. So if the essence ain't there, then what do we got to fall back to? What do we have
We're
to
also doing
reference?
what we wanted our leaders in hip hop to do.
Facts.
If there should be a fucking outcry of mainstream fucking artists that are like, fuck out of here. We the #1 brand. Fuck that. Let me go and find the talent to show you why we're #1. Or let me push myself to the side, since nobody wants to pay the fuck attention to me. Nobody wants to pay attention to me. Let me go find somebody that you're gonna fucking love. You get what I'm saying?
But what? And I didn't mean to. I get really. You guys speak some really powerful stuff, and I just want to interject on it and expound on it. What makes you believe that, in a lot of ways, why doesn't a mainstream artist do that? Why?
Selfish.
Money.
Money.
They can't. It's greed. It's money. It's selfishness.
Me. My brand. My this. My that.
Our
I'm the
identity
best.
in itself. Our identity in itself.
Being
preaching like,
companions.
yo, nah, it's not about me.
We doing it
Yeah.
together.
It's
What
very
can
important.
we do?
My outlook on it is that's how everyone starts, though. A lot of people start with a crew. They start with people that they hold dear and authentic to them. What's going to keep you guys together?
Brotherhood.
But sometimes they say blood ain't no thicker than water, though.
That's
Brotherhood.
Brotherhood.
'Cause he's the whole reason why I'm even doing this in the first
Like
place.
if you know your brother,
Yeah.
you can't do your brother any harm because you're doing harm to yourself. That's the difference, because real brotherhood. I'll listen to him even when I don't want to hear his fucking voice.
Yeah.
We could fight, argue, be at odds. Doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
We'll be right back in the same room doing the same thing,
Same
whether
thing
we like
over
it
and
or
over
not.
again.
Because at the end of the day, that's brotherhood. What are we deciding to do together collectively? So we not only use that amongst ourselves, but we push that narrative forward throughout all of hip hop and all of the culture and anybody who's privy to us. We want to work together. We want to work with you. What can we do together to push the culture forward? Because the culture's gonna live a lot longer than we are.
Yeah, and I had multiple people ask, man, it's crazy. I know a lot of twins that end up separating.
Yeah.
I know twins that separated, even from high school. One twin don't even talk to his other twin. One twin live in freaking Arizona. The other one live in New York.
Yeah,
So
Kentucky too.
yeah, so they separated, don't even talk to each other. The kids never seen each other, and we're against that. We're all about keeping us together. I don't want my kids not to know his kids. They're cousins. We're twins. They're gonna, we damn near share the same blood. Like, so what's the dynamic of that? So when we push that into the community, we're letting people know that, hey, we standing unified. The 2 pillars in our logo stands that we're standing together.
2 pillars.
So we stand together. We stand together. It takes more than one to build something. You can't build it all by yourself. Yeah, you can be a caveman if you want to, but you're not gonna build a nation that way. So that's how I look at it. That's what we view.
Great logo choice on the 2 pillars, guys. I can't think of a structure that gets held up by one.
Exactly.
I can't.
Right.
Another thing I love about your dynamic, I mean, coming from a family of 10 kids, I lost my little brother in 2013. He was my best friend. We were as close as you guys. I wish we were as close as you guys, but we were pretty close.
Sorry for your loss.
I appreciate you, brother. It pushes me to push community. Episode 1, my Witz podcast. Check us out.
Word.
Subscribe. It is a breath of fresh air to see brothers not let anything come in between you, especially in such an ego-driven drama. Have you ever? I'm sure you've had. Maybe you haven't, but if you mind sharing with us, has there ever been a situation where your brotherhood was tested? Maybe when y'all were in the military together, maybe over a female, anything like that ever, guys?
Of course. Hell
Yeah. Oh, my guys, keeping it real.
I'll give you a prime example. I remember in the military, he had a chance to come with me to Alaska,
Wow.
But he stayed back to, because, he was getting married and stuff like that. So I supported his dream. I thought it would be dope to be stationed together. I mean, we've been together this whole time, so I thought it'd be dope to be, right there next to each other again. But, because, the military can separate you. You can go wherever.
Anytime,
So, but when he did that, we tested us, but I mean, I respected his decision. It wasn't like I was mad at my brother. It was like, all right, well, I know now. I see where we're gonna separate for a little while. I'm gonna go ahead to go do what I gotta do over here. You gotta do what you gotta do over there. But hey, and then we still talk to each other, communicate. Yeah. Hey, man, this is what I'm doing. Hey, this is what I'm doing. Da 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 da.
And then there's still hard truths. You know what I'm saying, and stuff that we talk to that we'll never make public.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That we had to fight through that were deeply personal, but. Of course, you're gonna get to a situation where you're gonna be at your wit's end with your your brothers and stuff. So, being able to sit down and go through those hard truths, you can't do that on an individual basis. It takes a village.
Yeah.
So just because you see us two here doesn't mean that there's not a tribe of people around us that are like making sure that it never falls apart. Yeah. That's the importance of starting with two pillars.
Plus, you could talk. Plus, just to end this end it on this note. I would say, regardless of the fact, if you move in unison, you can't dive off a different path. Does that make sense?
It makes it a lot harder. So, I appreciate you guys. This has been my Wit's End, and I hope you guys subscribed. Give you a quick second to subscribe.
Make sure y'all follow, like, share.
Hit the notification bell. And make sure you check out my guys, the Twin Kingz. That's 2, the number 2, WIINKINGZ. All right?
Salute.
TwinKingz.com. Let them know where they can find y'all on Instagram and everything else, y'all.
Yeah, you can follow us the same, 2WIIN_Kingz with a Z. That's on all streaming platforms. And that's also all social media accounts.
And what should they be looking out for from you guys?
Definitely look out for our next tape. It's Funny How Life Is. It's coming out on March 13th. Check it out.
It's encompassing everything. Everything.
If you guys need mixing, mastering, if you want the opportunity to express what you're doing, what you're contributing to hip-hop, business, culture, hit us up, My Wit's End Podcast, and that's on Instagram and everything else. We love you guys. Y'all stay blessed, all right? It's been T Witz and the Twin Kingz, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Salute.